Today I got a little bit different type of a project I'm working on. Working on this hide-a-bed. It's actually an Ashley furniture model. It looks nice, but it maybe isn't the sturdiest. It was actually a warranty situation where the people had bought the unit and had some problems with the hide-a-bed, so they returned it. It's in real nice shape, but the issue I gotta fix is under this cushion. As you can see, the bed attaches to this piece of OSB here. Oh, it's all cocked right now. It's supposed to be up in between this, blocked in between here. But it's obviously come loose somehow and it is fallen down. And so now all of it's on the ground basically. So I'm going to take this bed out and figure out a way to secure all this better. Maybe replace some of the wood, I'm not really sure. But all this is stapled together, which is real common in furniture nowadays. And this is a little bit more of a laminated plywood pieces here. But there isn't really that much holding this together, just staples. As you can see, it's on the ground at this end. So I think I'm going to start by just removing the hide-a-bed, maybe flipping this over and then taking a look at things. We definitely save money buying this like this, but we have the flip side of that, which is fixing it. Got to figure out if it's going to be easier to flip it over or to just take this bed out and then undo it like that. There. Had to pull that piece back up in there so it can unfold right. It does not like to unfold when it's all just crooked. So this I can get rid of because this isn't attached. So I did get it unfolded, but it doesn't like to work very well when this piece isn't up where it should be. But I think now I can get down here to these screws. There's only, I think, one screw at the front here and a screw at the back. I can't believe it's only 2 screws. It's not super heavy, but it's just not a lot holding it in there. Once they're loose, it can just slide forward and come out of these slots, it looks like. So it should come out pretty easy. This is a problem you could definitely run into if you've had a sleeper sofa at any amount of time. And if your kids are like my kids, jumping on it, things like that. This thing is pretty light. Just gonna try to lift it out of here. There we go. So as you can see, not really real wood holding this thing together. A lot of staples. This is where your bolts go in for the hide-a-bed anchor. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over so I can see the bottom of this and see what I need to do to reinforce this so I don't have this problem again. Put the pressure on the front. I'm gonna set it here and see if this works. That might work. Let's try this. So this side is still all together, but it's weak like this side, so I'm probably gonna modify both of them if I can. I gotta start by getting this material off of here so I can see what's in here. This isn't a dig on Ashley Furniture. They make a lot of nice looking stuff, but it's just the reality that things that are made of real wood and high quality are going to cost a lot more money, and most people can't afford $3,000 couches and things like that. So it is what it is, but it's definitely not super sturdy. One of these days I need to get me a new new tool belt. What do you think? But I think we can get this couch sturdied up enough that it'll make us a good couch for a while. So I'm just going to back these staples out for now. This isn't that critical. I could just rip this stuff off of here, but it's pretty much a brand new couch and I want to keep it looking as nice as possible. I'm not winning though very much here. I think I'm just going to pop them off. This board coming down was actually tearing this material that's on the cross board here across the front of the couch. I'm not even sure how they had this attached. I don't even see any staples or anything. I'm sure they had something. See, this must have been on a Friday when everybody was thinking about the weekend, because this is just lack of workmanship. We paid less than half of what this thing retails for, so if I can get this squared away, I save myself some money. They have one staple in this cross member here. So the only thing really holding this was some staples that they drove through the top here, which is good. They did that, but there's really nothing perpendicular holding this thing in place. Like, I don't even see a staple in this, and I only see one staple right here. I don't see anything up here. At least you could staple into this and get a little bit of strength. So we got lots of reinforcing to do. Now I think I'm just gonna break those off. This, in my opinion, should all be some kind of strong wood instead of OSB. OSB can crumble. Not a fan of this new age furniture. So I'm taking a look at the bottom here, and I don't see any staples. So I'm wondering if the only thing that's holding this in place is these staples up here. Unless they went in from the back, which is possible, but I don't even see any up here. Oh boy. Okay, they did have some staples here, but no staples there. So this had no perpendicular support. Unbelievable. It's no wonder it failed. I'll start by breaking these off right now. I could cut them off like with a grinder or something, but then I'm gonna have all that metal dust everywhere, and I don't really want that in my furniture. And if I just bend them back and forth, they'll break off. And they break off pretty much flush. It works best if you just do one at a time. Watch yourself though for not hitting your hand on the other staples. Alright, all the nails are out of there. Now we just have to figure out how we're going to reinforce all this. This here is locked into there, which is nice. Gives this piece some strength. I think I'm going to put a block of wood on the side of this though, to give it some more meat to screw into than just the end of this board. It looks like they even stapled into this and it tore out. And maybe put some more blocking down here. I think I'm going to screw a block here. I can screw the ends into, because I got space here. I can drive as much as I want into here as long as I don't go too deep, and give it some more strength. Yeah, you can see where they ran their staples right here in the middle, and they kind of missed, went right along the edge. This isn't going to be strong going into the end of a piece of OSB. Here's the one staple they ran into the end on this end, and they missed pretty much, so that did no good. These here I don't have to break off, I can grind them off. My wife and I are out here looking at the inside of this, where this is the back, where you would like lean against it. I mean, it might be interesting for all you guys to see how this is made underneath. This is like what supports you when you lean back against your Ashley couch. These white straps is what hold you from falling through. These are what hold the cushions in place. This is what supports this cross member here that kind of keeps your couch looking straight. It's all made of just little pieces of plywood. This is your little triangle support piece right here, just stapled in place. Not even sure it was worth what we paid for it, but we're gonna make it work. It'll look nice for a while in our house. It's better than paying full price for it, but very, very cheaply made. Yeah, so after looking at all the quality here at this piece of furniture, I was thinking about replacing this with a piece of plywood and like really beefing it up, but it would probably be the strongest part of the piece of furniture. So I think I'm just gonna reuse this piece. I'm gonna do some better blocking behind it to screw to and put it back together. And I'm still debating if I'm gonna do the other side, because I know eventually it's probably gonna fail. All right, before I start reinforcing this outer piece, I'm gonna staple anything I can to this piece to attach it to the back here to try to get as much support, because I'm gonna screw my blocks and my hidden supports to this. So I want it to be well attached to this part. So I got some 1.5" staples here. I'm gonna just drive in here. And like I said, OSB's strength is through this direction. So this, I mean, this whole design is just not good, but that's what we got to deal with. So I'm gonna staple this cross member to this block, because I think the only way it's stick in there is they got some staples at an angle there. There, that's sturdied up a little bit. And this piece here, I don't even know what to do with. I guess I'm gonna staple it a little bit better to this piece here. Sturdied that up a little bit. I don't know, this end here just floating. I don't know what even to do with it. Eventually I think I'll staple it to a block down here. What a disaster. All right, this is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna make a block that fits in here that I can screw to from this side and screw in from this side. And it's gonna be screwed into this piece here. Then I'm gonna take another block and screw it to this. So this is together, so I have something solid to screw into there. And then up top here, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'll make another block that fits like this in between here that I can screw in from this side and screw in from the top down so that I don't have to mess with this material up here any. So I gotta do some measuring and make up my blocks. I'm just visualizing what I'm gonna have here. These blocks are gonna go something like this. I'm gonna actually rip down this board so that I can put it in there like this, because the strength of the 2x4 is gonna be through the side, not from the end. So I wanna be screwing into this or stapling into this and screwing into this as well. But these blocks can be as deep as this whole thing here. So these blocks can be 6 inches long. So 6 by 3 and 6 by 2 7/8. This is a 9/16 spade bit I use to countersink those areas where I'm gonna put screws in. Now I'm just gonna take this drill and put holes through there that my screws can go through to screw these blocks to the OSB. There we go, we'll get these 2 blocks in and see how they come out. These are construction screws, which should work good for this. As I'm looking at them though, looks like I need to countersink a little bit deeper. Yeah, I want to get full depth through this OSB, so I'm gonna just drill these down a little bit farther so I can get maximum penetration through my OSB. So right now, the spade bit isn't even to the shaft area. So I'm gonna take this down till I'm right up here on the shaft on all these, and it should be good. Piece should fit in here. I'll put this one in here. See how I have a little bit of space there? This one's gonna be even smaller up here, I think. So I'm gonna reuse this one up here, because I want that right up against there so I can screw in this side and everything's tight. Let's see how this one looks. It's gonna sit in there like that. That one looks good right there. And this one up here, yeah, that'll work. Okay, well, we're gonna get these screwed in place and then do that last one up there. I'm gonna skim just a little bit of the bottom of this off because this block here is keeping me from being up against, and I want to be tight everywhere. Gonna take about a 1/4 inch off the bottom here. These are a Torx head. This piece here now should fit nice in here. So I'm going to screw this right to this OSB instead of stapling it, which will give it more strength. I have to get an extension here because I got those countersunk holes. So this will make it my bit longer so I can get in that hole. And I don't want to over tighten this. This is still OSB. There we go. Put one in here. All right. That is going to be a lot stronger than any of that OSB. And like I said, those screws are hidden in this area right here, so there's no danger of it sticking out and poking somebody. Those staples I put in earlier were sticking out a little bit, so had to knock them in. Okay, so then this one should go here. Get my screw centered up in the hole. Now it's screwed to that. And now we can take our stapler and staple this to it just for extra support. That's a nice solid connection there. Now I just gotta get a measure from this top. All right. Measure my 6 inches here. Two and 3/4 here. All right, let's see what we got now. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. So we got the block in. We're gonna be able to staple through the top down into this from this piece. Staple through that. I think we're ready to start assembling this thing. That's good and snug. The fact that these ends are floating like that, it makes it a little bit difficult to know where things should end. Actually, I'm gonna use my piece of wood. Make sure everything looks good, because this has a straight edge. Okay, about right there. There we go, got that block in. Now we're just gonna put a screw in, I think, from this direction. Yeah, just threw that block there just to give it another place of strength. You wanna pre-drill holes like this though, because you wanna draw this towards that block. I'm gonna try to miss my screw that I already put in the other direction. There we go. Put a screw in like this. So this, we'll staple this all back in place here when we're done. Actually, I think I might staple it in place right now, because once I get this board in place, I probably can't get this material back where I want it. So I'm gonna put it where it goes, and then slide that board over top of it. Now, I'm not gonna use my power stapler for this, or my air stapler, because it might just go right through that material. So I have just a regular manual stapler I'm gonna grab. I'm using some 3/8 inch long staples. It's gotta be thick enough to do that material. There we go. Okay, we want to wrap this material around here, but we don't want to over tighten it or just pull it too tight, or it'll probably make the front look weird. I'll try to slide this board back in. All right. Okay, I'm going to staple this board into place so it doesn't keep moving around. But this is with the air stapler. I don't like that. When I put this block in, this board was too short to even make it to the back. So I missed it with my staples. So I'm gonna have to put another block over this one just so I can staple this board down to it. Just seems like they cut corners everywhere they could. So I'm gonna put my board where I think it should go so it doesn't move around on me. That's how you keep a board from moving. And just to make sure it doesn't move, I'm actually going to sink some screws in each of these as well, because I do not want this problem to arise again. So now I'm just going along and attaching this top piece here. Like I said, this isn't strong or anything, it's just mainly for cosmetic issues. And at the end here, I can actually staple it to my piece of wood I put in there. All right, I didn't like that piece flipping around at the end, and I had a hard time getting a staple at the end, so I cut this piece of plywood to put in there, and now I'm gonna staple it in. There we go. Now that piece I was able to staple everything to. All right, I'm just gonna run some drywall screws in there. And this is just to make sure nothing goes south. Staples are good, screws are better. All right, I think we got that all snugged back up good. I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. Now I'll bring this back over. All right, I feel pretty good about that side. What to do with this side? I don't think I have a choice. I'm gonna go ahead and take this material off here and I'm gonna put some blocks in there. Yeah, look at that. That thing's all loose. Not even connected. It's so frustrating. Well, here we go. Look at this. Look at all that moving around in there. Like there's nothing even hardly connected. This here's a little bit connected. And this end here is a little bit connected. This is the important end right here. This is the end where all the weight is. Do not understand. All right, this side I'm gonna do a little differently. So this top board here, which is underneath this material that protects your cushions when it's laying down here, it's still attached with all the staples and I don't wanna beat the crap out of this trying to get it all apart. It'll just probably make more things come loose. So I'm gonna work opposite on this side. I'm going to put my blocks in, staple my wood to the blocks to hold everything in place, and then I'm going to drill through the OSB to put my screws in. So it's kind of like wood surgery here, but that's so I don't have to try to knock this board out and everything. So I'm going to go measure for my pieces of wood, slide them in here, staple them in place, and then drill my holes through. I think we can get this done. This method is going to make a lot more of a sawdust mess. So I'm slipping this block in and it's going to go right up against that piece up there so I can screw to it. This piece will go right in here and then this piece hopefully. And then I'll have to shave that one down. It's a little bit too wide. Yep. That's better. Okay, there's a random staple right there. Serving no purpose, so I'm going to get rid of that so I can have this block closer to the end. In place. So what's important is this is to be right along the top edge of this, so I can't smack this block too far in. Like I wouldn't want to do this. See how it's pushing on that right there? So that's where it's got to end. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to staple this in place so this doesn't move. So that's just to hold it in place. So now I can drill. I'm going to go ahead and tack all these in place. Put a staple in each end. Okay, and the bottom. And this bottom one, I'm going to hold off the bottom. So this piece of OSB doesn't even go to the back. So I'm going to hold it up a little ways so I have something to staple to in the back. Here. There we go. So that should hold everything in place while I drill. On the other side, I wanted to drill down so the shaft was even. On this side, I gotta go the same depth, but I gotta go through the OSB on top of it. So I'm gonna get a piece of tape and tape this off where I wanna stop. Okay, so I have this piece of tape on there. It's kind of to mark where I wanna end. So I wanna make sure I'm centered. I'm gonna hit that piece of wood pretty good. Like I said, this is gonna make a lot more mess than I was hoping for, but those two done. Okay, this block here is actually lined up with that hole that the bed goes in. I can drill a clearance hole through the middle there, which will help when that thing goes together. I'm gonna do that right now before I forget, so it doesn't cause problems. So there, it has some clearance. All right, now we're gonna put a couple holes in here to hold this block in place. We're gonna go more in the middle here because we don't want that to interfere with that screw. I don't like those holes very well, but it's okay. It's the middle one, we'll do the top one here. That's the mess I was trying to avoid, but we couldn't do it. So now I'm gonna drill as much of a clearance hole as I can, as deep as I can in these holes. Because we want the screws, we want that thread to grip as much, a less amount of that block and more of the OSB. All right, now I'm gonna try to get everything where it needs to be. Sitting down here is already in the same right spot because it was still somewhat secured. So I should be able to push my screws in the starter hole and tighten this up. Now we should get some feedback when we put these screws in. See how it pulls this together and see if we did any good. No. Pushing that out, so that's because our holes wasn't deep enough. So I'm actually going to push this together, and then when the screw goes in, it shouldn't pull away as much. There we go. And now the top one. There we go. That's all stiffened up. Now I just got to put some staples up here. I'm gonna staple all this probably. Bottom of this is completely not attached to anything. So frustrating. So now we're just gonna go put some staples in here. Okay, drywall screws. I'm gonna take some of these staples out. They're just hanging out to cut somebody. I want to tie these two together with some staples. Well, Ashley Furniture, if you ever need some tips, hit me up. Lots of room for improvement here. All right, I'm gonna back off my pressure here, and I got some 1/2-inch staples in here. I'm gonna use them to put some of this material back. All right, now I'm just gonna use a regular staple to put this back together. I'm gonna go with my sweeper though and start cleaning some of this dust out of here. So we just decided to go ahead and carry the couch in without the hide-a-bed attached, since it would be quite a bit lighter. I think this thing weighs 213 pounds with everything on it. Now I gotta go back out and get the hide-a-bed and bring it in and get it attached. Okay, I'm gonna try to fold this up and take it into the house without getting hurt.
How does it?
Okay. Try to unfold this again. So we gotta get those bolts in down there. Actually, don't even have to have it lined up. You can just put the screw in and then it'll slide onto it. So you don't have to worry about the bed right now. You can just put the bolts in. I got it. Right there.
It goes all the way up and then it should go down. There you go. Wow.
Just like that.
Put the mattress on?
That's a good point.
Now there's nothing to hold the mattress on, right?
I
There's.
think you can buy something, I don't think it has anything right now.
Up, right, you put the mattress on backwards. Tag is at the top because of how it folds.
It's been folded, but
Yeah.
more bounce to it. Well, it's nice to know we didn't completely waste our money. I think we're gonna have a couch to sit on.
It's technically a brand new couch since
I
it
think
was.
so. Well, that does it for today. Hope you got something out of this. If you have furniture break and you don't want to just buy a new one right away, just don't be afraid to dig into it. You can figure it out. So at least I didn't waste all my money on this buy. So I clean up my mess and move on to the next project. Till next time, guys, good luck with all your projects.